Who is going to be the first to take that trip to Goon City? Now available on ProWrestlingTees.com, the newest design for Off the Script, taking that trip to Goon City. ProWrestlingTees.com/Off the Script, $19.99. Get yours today on top of version 1 and version 2 of Get Off My TV. Goon City is the newest addition for the Off the Script podcast, hosted by yours truly, JD from NY. Let's all take that bus trip to Goon City collectively, man. Let's populate Goon City and show why this is the #1 fucking podcast on YouTube.com, man. That's ProWrestlingTees.com/Off the Script. What is going on, guys? JD from New York here. Magic 8 Ball. Should I do the intro? Because I didn't do one yesterday. What do you got to tell me, bro? Very doubtful. Magic 8 Ball doesn't want me to do the intro, guys. I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Off the Script. This is episode number 114, part number 2 for your Saturday, April 23rd, 2016. Fuck that, man. Is number 114, part number 2 of the #1 fucking source right here on YouTube.com for everything WWE. This is Off the Script, the #1 fucking podcast when it comes to WWE, man, in your subscription boxes. There you go. There you fucking go, man. There's your introduction. We got a big day for you guys. Unfucking believable. The events that happened this week, man, are unexplainable. They really are unexplainable. The passing of Chyna. We have Finn Balor losing the NXT championship at a fucking house show in Lowell, Massachusetts. Unbelievable week, man. Rumors going around like crazy about Finn Balor and him making an appearance on Monday Night Raw. This guy is the biggest troll in the wrestling community, bro. He's the biggest troll in the industry. He's been tweeting pictures. He's been Instagramming photos. He's been fucking saying shit to the crowds after live events. See you on Monday. That's exactly what he said. That's exactly what he said after his loss to Samoa Joe. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what's going on. We don't know if Finn Balor's going to be on Raw. We don't even know if he's going to be on the pay-per-view. Payback. We don't know. We don't know anything. All we know for a fact is that the WWE is certainly making things interesting. They're certainly making things intriguing for the audience. And this is probably, as far as I can remember, man, I can't even give you a time back when we've been this excited for someone to make their debut on the main roster. There hasn't been this type of excitement in the WWE in years. Not since The Shield. And that was a couple of years back. And not even that, was like this. The Shield was a massive presence in the WWE, and they certainly changed the format and the look of how things were done on Monday Night Raw. The Bullet Club, and now Finn Balor. This is even bigger than that, man. Can you imagine what Finn Balor is going to bring to the main roster? Can you imagine what Finn Balor is going to do as far as us marking out when that music hits and he's doing his fucking intro and his entrance? Gonna be unbelievable, man. I can't wait for it, and it's definitely an exciting time to be a WWE fan. I got big news on Finn Balor. Finn Balor finished with NXT, heading to the main roster to form the Balor Club. This is what everybody is talking about. We're going to get into that in just a little bit. I also have news on Cesaro. WWE and Vince McMahon, most importantly, is now behind Cesaro. He is expected to receive a much bigger push in 2016. I got news on Adam Rose and his suspension. I quote, "I didn't do anything knowingly wrong." That was from the mouth of Adam Rose. I also have news on why The Rock was kept away from Roman Reigns at Wrestlemania to avoid backlash from the fans. And I got news on The New Day. Are they in Vince McMahon's doghouse? All that plus much, much more this weekend and off the script, but that's what we're going to be talking about on this very episode. Number 114, part number 2. If you guys missed off the script, part number 1 for number 114, that is linked down below in the description below. Make sure you guys go check that out. If you guys missed my Samoa Joe video that I recorded the night of immediately he won the NXT Championship, you guys can go check that out. It's about 5-6 minutes long. I just give you my opinion on what Samoa Joe was doing at the house show while winning the NXT Championship and why I thought it should have happened at NXT TakeOver Dallas. So make sure you guys go check that out. And obviously, last but not least, the video of Chyna and my video talking about the death of Chyna and what it meant to us as wrestling fans and why this is yet another disappointment on WWE's resume. Very, very good video. I want you guys to go check it out. And speaking of Chyna, I gotta give props here, man. You know, Vince Russo, and I'm not fucking kissing his ass. Vince Russo is an inspiration, the way he goes about talking about WWE and the wrestling business in general. You can certainly listen to him and learn a lot. He was there. He was front and center in the Attitude Era. He was one of the biggest reasons why the Attitude Era was the way it was for us. And you guys tweeted me about Vince Russo and his video about Chyna, paying respects to his friend Chyna. And you guys linked me his YouTube video, and I listened to this, and I watched it while I was setting up my store at work on Friday morning. And I could not help but have tears roll down my face, man, because watching him break down, who was a true friend to Chyna. He was there, and he explains how he cared for her, and you know, every situation, every scenario imaginable, he goes into in depth about everything that was Chyna from the beginning all the way up until what happened this week. If you guys have not seen it, I'm going to link you the video down below. I want you guys to go check this out. It's about an hour and a half, and it's absolutely worth a listen. Believe me, okay? And you guys should go tweet Vince Russo and send him your thoughts and prayers and, you know, wish him well. I know he's struggling with this. It's a very difficult time for him, but watching him break down like that made me emotional, and I'm sure it did the same for you guys, man. It's not a good thing that happened this week, man. A very, very shitty situation, and, you know, my thoughts and prayers not only go out to the family of Chyna, but they also go out to Vince Russo, and, you know, in hopes that he recovers from this devastating loss. I can't even imagine what he's going through. You know, we've all lost loved ones. I lost my grandpa 2 years ago. I'm sure you guys have suffered the same thing. So if you want to go wish Vince Russo well, please do so. He certainly could use all the support we can give him, as well as Chyna's family, man. It's just a shitty situation this week, and I hope everybody comes out of this okay. So that's just what I wanted to say about that. ProWrestlingTees.com/offthescript. Make sure you guys go out and support the podcast, support the channel. ProWrestlingTees.com/offthescript is the best way to do that. Everybody that buys a t-shirt, you guys are representing the podcast 1,000%, man. There's 4 different t-shirts on there. Get Off My TV version 1 and version 2, the new Goon City t-shirt, and the original Off the Script t-shirt, man. Go out and get yours today. Represent the best fucking podcast on YouTube.com when it comes to WWE, and look stylish while doing it, man. Thank you guys so much to everybody that has ordered t-shirts this week. Greatly, greatly appreciated. If you guys are not following me on Twitter, at JDfromNY206, almost at 10,000 followers, man. We're creeping up there, and we're actually at almost 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. Hopefully, before, I would say, what's Extreme Rules? Hopefully we can get there before Extreme Rules, but we're at about 48,000, roughly about 48,000. 2 more thousand to go, so if you're not subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do so, man. You will not regret it. If you guys like wrestling talk the way it should be from a real, genuine fan, this is the channel. This is the show for you. WrestleCrate.com. 10% off your first purchase, man, with the code JD. Sent me. Instant 10% off the regular crate and the ultimate crate. What is WrestleCrate.com, you ask? The #1 subscription service delivered to your front door for pro wrestling shit, man. You got pro wrestling tees, barbershop window t-shirts. You got Fathead. You got Funko Pop. You got Mattel Elite action figures, signed autographs from some of the biggest names in the industry. You got comic books, keychains, bottle openers, you name it, man. Anything that they can get their hands on that is fucking awesome, it'll be in this crate, man. WrestleCrate.com and on Twitter at WrestleCrates. Go show them some love. They are a big supporter of this very show. Thank you guys so much. And finally, I will have an iTunes podcast up. There's just so much going on this week that I pushed it back a few days, man. I don't even have a set day for when this thing goes up. It's just going to go up whenever I feel like it. That's just the way it's going to be. But I will have one up by tomorrow evening. Make sure you guys look out for that. iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher Radio, and AudioBoom. All the links you need are down in the description. Finn Balor finished with NXT, heading to the main roster to form the Balor Club. WWE star Finn Balor shockingly lost his NXT championship to Samoa Joe on Thursday night at a random NXT live event in Lowell, Massachusetts. WWE actually made sure to plug the event on NXT this past week, which was not normal for them. I have not watched NXT this week, so I missed out on that Easter egg this week, so I did not know. It made some speculate that Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson would show up to help him out, but instead it revolved around Balor losing the NXT title. Finn Balor was the longest reigning NXT champion of all time, beating out Neville, and a little while back, most thought if he did drop the title, it would be at the NXT TakeOver event in June. This would have given Balor around 11 months as champion. Now that he has dropped the title at a random time, it makes us believe that live events truly do count, and you shouldn't miss NXT when they come to your area. Now, most are wondering what this means for Finn Balor. Kevin Owens tweeted at Finn Balor last night saying, "See you on Monday." This sent huge buzz around the world, and when Balor was reportedly telling people that he would see them on Monday, it made us think he would appear on WWE Raw even more than we thought. However, most feel this is a ploy on Balor's end of things. He is known for messing with the fans and being a complete troll on social media. The most likely time we will see him is at WWE Payback. The reason is pretty simple. According to reports from earlier on, it seems as if something big is going to happen during the AJ Styles-Roman Reigns match for the WWE World Heavyweight title. Most figure that Styles will keep trying to push Gallows and Anderson away because he feels he can do things without their help. However, the two want to be useful, and pushing them away could be a problem. Reportedly, WWE has considered turning AJ Styles heel, but they feel as if he is simply too over as a babyface to do so, which is what I have been stating for the last few weeks. His merchandise is selling very well, and it does not make sense to turn him when you could use him as a top babyface. Meanwhile, WWE wants to use Finn Balor in a major way. There was some talk of the Balor Club potentially having more members than just Finn, Luke, and Carl. This led to some assuming that Styles would be added, but that looks to be unlikely. This is why it appears as if something will occur during Payback that will result in Balor making his main roster debut. He very well could show up in the main event and either cost AJ the championship or help him to win it. Due to the fact that this seems like WWE wants to use Roman Reigns more as a champion this year, it looks like the former is the truth. While Finn Balor could very well show up on Monday, Sunday simply means more, or seems more likely, and it will be more meaningful, and Balor, known for his trolling and teases, is trying to tempt fans more and then showing up when they don't expect him to. This is common practice for the former champion. Meanwhile, Samoa Joe beating him was a shocking moment and made an impact. Finn Balor wants to make a bigger one on the main roster. Triple H has been hesitant about bringing Balor up because he didn't know how he would be used. Interestingly, the Authority are set to make their return to television very soon to begin a storyline with Shane McMahon. I have news on that tomorrow. This means Triple H can watch over the use of Finn Balor and could very well make him his new Seth Rollins and take the spot of the Architect, which would only lead to more fun down the line for storylines, a.k.a. Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor. Oh my God. The debut of Finn Balor is speculated to be huge and could change literally everything in the WWE. He is set to get a crazy push, according to reports, but no one thought we would see him this soon. That makes most feel like Balor will make a much bigger impact than any of us assumed he would before. WWE has something up their sleeve when it comes to the Demon, and this may excite fans enough to see ratings rise, which could only be a good thing for WWE. This is unbelievable, man. I'm going to be honest with you. I have nothing more to add here, man. This is nothing more than a wait-and-see situation. We can talk about this all we want. We can speculate all we want. Okay? For the first time in a very long time, and I threw several different scenarios at you. I am glad I don't know what's happening. Because as a wrestling fan right now, as a fan of the WWE, and I want you guys to think the same way. As a fan of this product, I am glad I do not know what is to come in the next 2 weeks. Finn Balor can literally, like the report said, change everything. I don't want to know what he's doing. I don't want to know who he's siding with. I don't want to know if he's going to be heel or face. I don't want to know when he's going to make a debut. I don't want to know. I want to be surprised. We can talk about it all we want. We can read every fucking dirt sheet on the planet to try and figure out when he's going to appear on WWE television. I'm telling you, right in front of this fucking microphone, I'm glad I don't know. I threw you guys out so many different scenarios. If one of them happens, fantastic. If none of them happen, I don't give a shit. Finn Balor's coming to the main roster. He lost the title to Samoa Joe. This signifies the end of his run in NXT. Everybody's been talking about him making his main roster debut after SummerSlam. He wanted to be down in NXT a little bit longer. He's had several interviews saying that he doesn't want to make the main roster just yet. He's got more to do down in NXT to make that brand what it should be. And now he's headed to the main roster to form the Balor Club. The Balor Club is coming. How this is going to turn up, whether the Shield gets involved, whether we see Rollins, Ambrose side with Reigns, whether we see all four of these guys, Styles, Balor, Anderson, and Gallows in one club, man. I don't know. I don't know, and I don't want to know. This is an exciting time for WWE. This is an exciting time for us. And like I mentioned yesterday, the only thing I am wary of is that WWE has so much talent here. The WWE has so much potential that they might not know what to do with so many different possible scenarios. And I just don't want them to drop the ball. That's what I said yesterday, man, and I'm going to stick to that. I don't want them to drop the ball here. I really do not. They got so much potential right now to make television unbelievable. They got the best talent in the world right now in their hands. I'm just afraid that with so much talent and so many different fucking possibilities, that WWE isn't going to know what to do. And they're going to get cold feet. I hope I'm wrong, but this is an exciting time to be a WWE fan, and I can't wait to see what happens, man. Rumor, Vince McMahon behind Cesaro. Now, Cesaro is expected to receive a much bigger push in 2016. At WWE Payback, Cesaro will challenge The Miz for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. It's a good match and a solid feud for both men, but it's been Cesaro that has erupted back onto WWE television since WrestleMania 32. However, Cesaro hasn't struggled to get mid-card championship matches during his WWE tenure, but he certainly had a lot of issues winning them because for whatever reason Vince McMahon thought the Swiss Superman was missing a connect with the WWE Universe. Well, a lot has changed recently for Cesaro. According to Cage Side Seats, his success on WWE television as of late isn't a fluke, or just because he's been out for so long. It appears the WWE realizes the true potential in Cesaro and that he is in line for a bigger and better push in 2016. It's not entirely certain what that may mean just yet, but it could end up leading to a possible WWE World Heavyweight title feud for Cesaro. There are any number of feud combinations that would make fans happy and bring about their excitement. If WWE wants to pit him against Roman Reigns, Cesaro would go from being a fan favorite to the ultimate babyface instantly. If AJ Styles ends up winning the WWE title at Payback, fans would be thrilled to see him take on Cesaro, as it would be two very popular superstars facing off with one another. Bleacher Report. Please take whatever they say with a grain of salt. I do not like them, and I don't know why I'm crediting them for this fucking article. Bleacher Report is stating that WWE is finally realizing just what they have in Cesaro, and that his incredible talent should be capitalized on. He has the strength of joining WWE. Cesaro has won the Oh, actually, I misread that. He has the strength of 10 men, according to Bleacher Report. His in-ring skills are second to none. He's one of the most popular superstars in all of the WWE right now, and it's almost impossible to get the fans to dislike him. Since joining WWE, Cesaro has won the United States Championship once and the Tag Team Championship once. He won the inaugural Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal at WrestleMania 30 and has one Slammy Award victory, as if that means anything in WWE. Seriously, it means jack shit. There is obvious potential in Cesaro. After returning from injury earlier in April, he's gotten some big victories and been placed in key matches. Now he's heading to Payback to face off with The Miz, and it's highly expected that he'll end up winning his first ever Intercontinental Championship. The Cesaro section is growing at every single event, and that has become a huge trend among fans. WWE is even taking more notice of it, and that was truly evident at an event in Nottingham, England this past week when Cesaro took on Rusev. Rusev took a Cesaro section sign from a fan and made fun of it. Cesaro not only took the sign away from the League of Nations member, but he rolled out of the ring and made sure to return it back to the fan it was taken from. That video was posted directly on WWE's YouTube channel and gives a lot of attention to Cesaro for something that happened at a non-televised house show. The fans absolutely love Cesaro, and he has all the skills needed to be a huge star in the world of professional wrestling. It certainly does look like WWE is going to go ahead with his push, but everyone still wonders how far it will actually go. He's good on the mic, strong as a horse, has a great in-ring ability, and that's exactly what would make for a great WWE World Heavyweight Champion. I am not going to say that Cesaro deserves everything like this. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Cesaro deserves a world title. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Cesaro should be one of the top guys in the industry right now. Yes, he has the ability to do so, but he does have flaws in the overall package that is Cesaro, okay? His mic skills really aren't all that impressive. I mean, they're passable, but they really aren't all that impressive. And one of the things the WWE looks for, and I know Roman Reigns doesn't have it, which questions why he's even the fucking WWE champion, he doesn't have any mic skill. Barely any, okay? He gets by, and he's been doing a little bit better. Cesaro is better than Roman Reigns, but he is not on the level of someone who you would make a WWE champion and revolve the entire company around. Cesaro is not that guy. Now, if you're comparing in-ring skill, Cesaro is like Daniel Bryan was. Daniel Bryan wasn't really that great on the microphone. He got by. He was decent enough to get by, you know? Some might differ, but I'm going to be honest with you. I love Daniel Bryan to fucking pieces, but he wasn't the best on the microphone. Cesaro is the next, he's very, very similar to what Daniel Bryan was. But WWE, I'm not going to believe this story until we see Vince McMahon actually go ahead and do it. We can talk all day until we're blue in the face. And we can say that Cesaro should be pushed. He should be the Intercontinental Champion. He should have mid-card titles. And the Intercontinental title is going to be better off on Cesaro than it is on The Miz. Yeah, I understand that. And I'm pretty sure that's where everybody's coming from. But why would you give the title to The Miz only to take it off of him? You know, Cesaro can certainly chase The Miz. The Miz could be built up in the meantime in this feud, and he could be built up as a credible competitor once again after pretty much being thrown to the wayside. He hasn't been worth anything in the last couple of years. So WWE can kill two birds with one stone here. They can build up Cesaro and get him some more fan support, meanwhile building up The Miz as a credible, at least beatable champion. You know, get him back to where he should be. Decent mid-card, upper mid-card type of guy. Now that he's got Maurice, you know, that whole presentation and that whole package is a lot better than it was 2 years ago when he was just doing nothing but Miz TV and fucking, you know, teaming with Sandow. You know, fuck that. Miz could be a very, very good mid-card guy if they want to give him a solid push in the mid-card. Cesaro could definitely be right below that main event scene, you know, teetering on the main event. He could be the guy you can call upon for a, you know, Money in the Bank victory or a solid main event on Monday Night Raw. You know what you're going to get with Cesaro. But who knows how he's going to tap into that true potential. We're never going to know what the true potential is of Cesaro unless you give him the ball. Give him the keys. And give him the fucking run with it, you know? Give him the opportunity to take that ball and just show us what he's got. That's what WWE needs to do. If you're behind Cesaro in most of everything that he is, in-ring skill, look, fan recognition, fan support, why wouldn't you give this guy a push to see what he's worth? It's worth the risk. And Cesaro is a damn good fucking talent who we all know deserves better than what he's been given in the WWE. I just hope that WWE doesn't get cold feet on this one either, and Vince McMahon really does get behind Cesaro, because the more guys you build up, the more main event level guys you got, the better off the product is going to be. The more wrestlers, the more superstars fans could believe in and get behind. If you don't do none of that, nobody's going to care, and you're not going to have any good television. That's just what I'm thinking on that. Adam Rose, about his suspension. I didn't do anything knowingly wrong. Earlier this week, WWE released the following statement after suspending both Adam Rose and Connor for violating the WWE wellness policy for a second time. In accordance with its talent wellness program, WWE has suspended Raymond Lapon, Adam Rose, and Ryan Parmeter, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, Connor, each for 60 days, effective immediately for a second violation with the company's policy. The Ascension's Connor has yet to make any noise about his suspension, but Rose made a full statement this week on Twitter about the reason for his suspension, and he's ultimately claiming he didn't do anything wrong, only what his doctors told him to do. I was not going to respond to my suspension, but I feel I have to. I have two sons that will one day read the news about their daddy and a sister that died from complications relating to a lifelong battle with heroin. So I feel the absolute need and right to respond and let the truth be known. No, Adam Rose is not in drug rehab for heroin. Okay? He would not even be employed by WWE if that was the case. Some of you tweeting at me, oh, JD, Adam Rose is doing heroin. No, it's not the case. I'm pretty sure this response will be met nowhere near the publicity that my suspension did, and that this response is really career suicide. But I feel for my sons, my sister, and the rest of my family. You, the WWE Universe, have the right to know the truth over my suspension and what it was for. I will also quote my doctor in response, as he was shocked and appalled by this suspension. I can say right now, I did not do anything knowingly wrong and was taking prescribed medication that my doctor and I followed all the correct protocol on. My actual response and doctor's response will be coming soon. So before you judge, know the facts. My family and I are still collecting ourselves from this blow. I have zero anger or animosity towards WWE, but I feel the administrators over WWE wellness policies were just simply not right in taking this action. But I feel the facts are the facts, and my family and I will be the ones putting our lives back together after this mess. My response will be up soon, along with my doctors. So Adam Rose taking to social media to state that he didn't do anything wrong and that he was prescribed medication that was legal and that followed the correct protocol, and WWE felt like this was against their wellness policy. It's going to be interesting to see what Adam Rose's doctors have to say about this suspension, 60-day suspension, I should say. And it certainly does suck because this is his second violation. And as you all know, a third violation means 3 strikes and you are out. Not only for him, but for Conor as well. And I reported yesterday that Victor is now a part of the social outcasts. Whatever that does for his career until Conor gets back, I don't know. But at least he's going to be active and doing something while his tag team partner is serving his suspension. The Rock was kept away from Roman Reigns at WrestleMania to avoid backlash from fans. I could have told you that one. In the months leading up to WrestleMania 32, it seemed like a certainty that The Rock would get involved with Roman Reigns at the big show and his match with Triple H. However, The Rock ended up interacting with the Wyatt family and stayed far away from the WWE title match and his cousin Roman Reigns. It's now being reported that the most electrifying man in all of entertainment was kept away from Reigns for a specific reason. According to DWN, DailyWrestlingNews.com, there were a lot of ideas thrown around about The Rock's role and ties to Roman Reigns on the road to WrestleMania. It was reported that one of those ideas was to get a special guest referee involved in the world title match, but the belief was that there shouldn't be any outside interference aside from Stephanie's brief involvement because Vince McMahon wanted Reigns to win the title on his own. The Rock's role as a special guest referee wasn't something his people really were willing to do either, because the word is that the business team wanted him kept away from Roman due to the potential of heat from the fans. So in order to make The Rock look like a superhero in whatever he does, WWE did not want to put him at risk with, putting him with Roman Reigns and being booed out of fucking WrestleMania just like they were at the Royal Rumble a few years back. And Vince McMahon wanted Roman Reigns to win the title on his own. So it was pretty mutual on both parties. By both parties, it was pretty mutual. They wanted to keep The Rock safe from any backlash. They don't want him to be booed in association with Roman Reigns. And Vince wanted Roman Reigns to win the title on his own with no outside interference. So that is the reason why The Rock was not put in the main event after many, many weeks of speculation leading up to that match with Triple H at WrestleMania 32. And finally, guys, let's talk about this to end this week's part 2 of episode 114. The New Day. Have they been punished by Vince McMahon? When WWE repackaged Kofi Kingston, Big E, and Xavier Woods to form their new group, The New Day, the trio was originally designed to be babyfaces enforcing the power of positivity. Their vignettes foreshadowing their arrival centered around gospel music and Baptist-like encouragements. However, the group did not go over well with the WWE Universe, and the dawn of the New Day quickly forced them to turn heel. Eventually, the crowds came around to the New Day, their brand of humor and their antics. Despite playing the role of heels, their brand of entertainment struck a chord with the fans, coming full circle from their intended debut back in July 2014. They first captured the WWE World Heavyweight Tag Team Championships at Extreme Rules last year, and save for a month or two stint when the Primetime Players were champs. The New Day has dominated the division ever since. They may have lost to the League of Nations at WrestleMania in what was their first pay-per-view match since the face turn, but it became apparent that this was all set up by design for WWE legends Mick Foley, Shawn Michaels, and Stone Cold Steve Austin to make their surprise appearances. It's become rather clear that the New Day has some measure of carte blanche, whatever the fuck that means, man. I don't speak French. When it comes to their on-screen personas and presentation. The louder the reaction, the more they're able to push the envelope. recently the New Day were guests of the Sam Roberts Wrestling Podcast, good old Sam Roberts, where they were specifically asked if they ever been reprimanded by Vince McMahon when it came to the idea of reeling it in. Thanks to Wrestling Inc. for the transcription, as Big E responded to that one. And I quote, "I love being subversive, and I really like seeing where the line is, but no, we haven't gotten in trouble at all. I think the only time Vince has ever pulled us aside and said, hey, pull it back a little bit, is when Woods went through a table. The Dudleys put him through a table, and he did the old school Devon sell, and I didn't realize how bad it was until I watched it back, and Vince had every right to pull Woods aside because it was ridiculous. Either Xavier got permission or abandoned that criticism when it came to WrestleMania. Woods received one of many stunners the night of, courtesy of Stone Cold Steve Austin, who applied his signature move to the League of Nations. But Xavier sold it more than anyone, drawing comparisons to The Rock back from the Attitude Era. The New Day may have lost their match, but everyone won because of that moment. The New Day's pre- and post-match dancing has also become routine during their television segments. It took a while for the fans to get used to the unusual gyrations, which I love, man, no homo. Big E is fucking great at what he does, and Xavier Woods, I love what he does, man, when he introduces the WWE World Tag Team Champions. So I like that, man. So it definitely did take a little bit to get used to, but they are over, very much so right now. And they also appear to be over in the back, as another example of pushing the envelope has worked in their favor, according to Big E. I'll be honest, and I quote, "I didn't know I had that in me. I don't dance," says Big E. Like, I don't dance at all. I don't do any of that, and then, I don't know when it started, but it just felt right. I was like, oh, I'm going to try this, and it felt so right. And now it's getting out of hand. I can't remember the first thing that was said to me, but the cool thing is Vince loves the nonsense. We always get reports like we'll have a writer or someone in Gorilla and they'll tell us that Vince is doubled over laughing. He loves the nonsense, and that's really cool. The WWE Tag Team division is in the midst of a renaissance as a tournament has been booked to determine the #1 contenders for the New Day's championships. The finals of the tournament between Enzo and Cass and the Vaudevillains will take place at Payback, while the winners should get 3 weeks of build time to feud with the New Day for a potential championship match at Extreme Rules. The very pay-per-view, they won the titles for the very first time. So there you go, man. Big E and the rest of New Day opening up on the Sam Roberts podcast. Have they ever been punished by Vince McMahon? According to the reports, no. But like a leader in the back and, you know, the boss of the company, Vince is going to tell them what they can do and what they can't do. As long as he's with it, as long as he's supporting the New Day and laughing and loving the nonsense, they are golden. Just don't betray his trust. Don't do things that would make him unhappy. But all in all, the New Day have been one of the best things on TV for over a year now, and it looks like they are going to remain that way as long as Vince McMahon has their best interests. So there you go, man. That's off the script. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you guys check out the rest of everything else in the description down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please share it and hit that thumbs up, man. I'll be back on part 3 of episode 114. WWE teasing big matches for WrestleMania 33 already. AJ Styles, is he headed for a major change? And WWE planning and the latest updates on Shane McMahon versus Triple H and Stephanie for control of the WWE. All that plus so much more on part 3 for Sunday of Off the Script. Until then, I am JD, and I'll see you guys on Sunday morning for part 3 of Off the Script. Talk to you later.